Trundle is going to be locked in as that final pick for Jose. Really interesting pickup, not something we've seen him play yet thus far this year.
Jose Dioto, after one of their games, he was getting interviewed, and he was on the lounge and just talking about the fact that he felt like they were not going for plays that he would expect them to in scrims.
Ooh, nice. They get the flash out of Call Me because Jose Dioto shows up after the phase rush had already procced. Call Me had already got that burst of speed.
Easy access to side lanes, right? Like, kind of moving around the map like...
Oh, hold on now. There's your Weaver's Wall. Also, Realm Warp going to bring DSG to the mix here, too. Team Liquid backing away, trying to secure control over the crab. Sajed off to the side, wants to get a little bit of damage here. Some burst out into Jose Dioto, but he drops the Subjugate to keep himself alive for now. Both junglers going to be taken out of the equation. And now a flash over the wall from the Nami as Team Liquid look for even more. Call Me, remember, no flash available on the rise from the earlier play. CoreJJ goes in for the flash route, and there's the extra kill, 2-1, TL.
He's like, hey, we have all these players who don't have a tremendous amount of experience. Actually going into the series last week, 4 out of the 5 of their players had never played a playoff game.
Okay, we've got ourselves a Realm Warp, and they want to make the 4v2 dive as the wave is about to crash into the Tier 1 turret. There's your target. Pop Blossom from CoreJJ tries to defend, but there's just too many enemies. Disguise brought everybody they needed. They get both kills, and they get everybody out.
So this is the preseason power rankings to the end of Swiss standing, so we can see, TL was the kind of de facto first place team. Is Sajed's gonna flash in?
Yeah, Yon is taking a whole lot of damage here, and now more follow-up onto CoreJJ, who's got to try to get away. He's already used the clone. The rocket forces the flash there, too, as Team Liquid's bottom lane duo is continuing to feel the pressure from Sajed and Lions.
Apply map pressure wherever you are, taking down the mid Tier 1 always helps with that.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a slow burn game, but I mean, DSG has a slight gold advantage. They have...
Sajed's in a lot of trouble, though. The Arc of Ruin lines it up, and they knock it down. Kill credit goes over to Yon as well, with a nice seismic shove into Kryra right after. They're looking for more, but they don't have enough damage to kill the Wukong here, too. Team Liquid getting Yon paid, catching back up, now overtaking Sajed in terms of individual gold, and they'll be able to summon the Rift Herald up mid, and Kryra's about to drop to Jose Dioto. The Sundered Sky is plenty enough. Trinity Force not required, and there goes the enemy jungler as well. This has been such a massive swing for TL. You love to see them when they result in those big bursty trades in lane, when the Corki is able to have that priority, that control, but then he gets a little too aggressive, he gets a little overconfident, and Team Liquid are fast to punish. Now Sajed in danger once again. Flash, Pop Blossom from CoreJJ, not gonna find a target. Beautiful bubble follow-up coming in from Lions, but now DSG, where are they gonna go from here? Jose Dioto has to flash away. Castle and Morgan both going to arrive. Meanwhile, the bottom lane turret falls with the Tier 1. Team Liquid is just going to lose core on that one.
That he's ever had, and it was definitely a bit of a shock because he had been performing really well for the team. Had looked like he was on point. Sajed pretty far up.
Yeah, the Corki's in trouble again. The damage flows through, but there's not quite enough to kill him through the barrier here just yet. Sajed staying alive for now, still fighting, but does finally fall. Traded for Jose Dioto. Kryra gets over the wall there with his clone, has to use that Cyclone as well. Morgan's going to grab the Tier 1 turret up there in the top lane at the same time.
I just love the emphasis on move speed here for Jose. He went 3 points Q into 5 points W, so additional move speed. Then he has a Deadman's. He's just so fast.
Okay, Castle trying to frontline here as Morgan flies into the back line, but he's going to take a ton of damage from DSG. Both top laners get chunked down very, very low here. The Scion, obviously the tankier one, as Morgan trying to wrap around, see if he can get some pressure onto Disguise. Remember, this is sole point if DSG can secure the Drake. Slam not going to do a whole lot. A nice follow-up seismic shove coming out from Quid, forces Castle to flash away. Dragon down to about 40% HP. DSG still looking to take the objective as Kryra has to force Morgan back away. Team Liquid carries under a little bit of pressure. Castle about to die. Jose Dioto going to grab the kill on that one as Lions is burning so very low, but he's not quite dead here yet. Castle still trying to make a little bit more space, but Team Liquid will take the fight. They will take the Drake, and they will stop DSG's stacking.
Make them look a little bit more unified going in than some of their previous outings.
Liquid is lurking, and Calmy is finding himself in a very compromised position. Weaver's Wall gonna chase after him. Seismic Shove knocks him out of the Realm Warp, and there is no way home for the Rise now. Yawn on a killing spree. Team Liquid picks the enemy mid laner. He'll be dead for the next 45 seconds, but what's the follow-up move from there? Yawn goes forward, still has the ulti with the Arc of Ruin to try to force DSG away from the tier 1 turret. Now Castle's gonna be the target. That Scion is not as tanky as they'd want him to be. Morgan just cuts him down. Jose the Odo makes it so easy with the subjugate.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go straight to Baron, but instead they just make a collapse on mid lane, and they do look for a hard engage. And we saw Morgan fully committing to that. He even looked for a flash ult on the Nami, which did get flashed, so that was kind of wasted. But again, Castle goes down. Now they will return and at least threaten the Baron, but of course we know it is going to be a bait.
Ooh, if that Seismic Shove would have hit Kryra, that could have been the play, or maybe they'll get it anyway. Kryra down to 20% HP, tries to use the Cyclone to get away from it, but Core JJ with a beautiful Pop Blossom stops any chance of DSG recovering there. Now with the jungler dead for the next 40 seconds, Team Liquid seriously looking at that Baron pit. Lurk around in the jungle, try to find a couple of picks to then continue making your big plays after that. Castle's gonna be the one who has to face check things here, but man, this map is so scary. Fog of War everywhere. Lions is just gonna drop. Yawn gets the last auto. That's a free kill for the Unara. As now Core JJ hits a 3-man Pop Blossom. Kryra tries to save himself, but Morgan takes him out. Castle's in the middle of everybody as Morgan can fall back before he ends up having to give his own life. Now Castle gets knocked down. Enemy jungler, enemy support, enemy top laner, all out of the picture, and Team Liquid's heading to Baron.
Just like you said, the way they play with Fog of War, I love whenever you see Core waiting in the bush because you know he sees the play, he's looking for the angle. 2K over his lead, and I think they're playing around his aggression so well with the insane amount of CC as Quick goes in.
Yeah, they're going in for the Weaver's Wall, and immediately Lions is caught. Yawn finds the Arc of Ruin there onto Kryra. They want to get a second kill here if they can, but Kryra gets away for now. Calmy going to reinforce him. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane, Yawn looking at Sajed. Kryra wants to go in after the Team Liquid AD carry, but Core JJ is there on the defense. Yawn staying alive for now. Castle doesn't have the damage. Calmy trying to get something, as at least Quid will fall. Yawn right next to him, but Calmy loses his life in the process. Morgan gets the killing spree there onto Sajed, and it's only Castle still standing on DSG. Beautiful use of the public execution to buffer through the decimating smash. Morgan guarantees the ace, and Team Liquid's looking for the end of the game.
Mbessa does not care about the towers at all, as Core is even going to be able to survive. Objective bounties are available soon. That's the cope. We're going for some bounties here.
You might need them. Yeah, I mean, it does stop a little bit of the pressure they were applying as, nope, they're going in for another play.
Yep, there it is. Pop Blossom seals Calmy's fate. Quid's going to be the one taking the kill on that as TL.
And we have the TP coming in from Morgan. He might be looking for a wraparound flank here. Sajed.
Eyes on Sajed, the Corki. If they manage to get the pincer attack on the AD carry, it's over before it even begins. Kryra takes a little bit of poke there from Core JJ as Sajed is about to die. One more auto attack would have finished him off as Yawn has to flash back away now, and Morgan has found that pincer attack. The Corki and the Wukong are both already out of the picture. Core JJ staying alive there with the Seeker's arm guard as Calmy just barely has enough damage to finish him off. Meanwhile, Yawn gets the kill on Castle and now has to get away from the dead Scion. The Arc of Judgment is enough to slow down the dead body, so the only one they lose is Core JJ, and it's an ace for TL.
I love how Yawn was the one telling them to chill out in comms. We saw from FBI's comms what happens when the ADC is baiting out stuff. Their really beautiful coordination with the Morgan flank coming around on the Mbessa.
And that's going to be all it takes. Team Liquid, it was a bit of a rocky start, but then they turned it around in the mid-game. They played it safe. They didn't take excessive risks. They make their way to the Nexus, and they're going to go up 1-0.
The inhib respawn.
Yeah, I think the inhib
respawn. It's not over.
Yeah, I think that it still should be over. Okay, there we go. Now they're going to go up 1-0 here in the series.
I was like, wait a second. We just tapped out, and I saw that Nexus, the health bar disappeared. I've been in that game before.